Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's David Sherry, Business Therapy. Let's talk about the difference between friendships and business relationships. A lot of people don't get this exactly right, and it can cause all different types of problems. Myself included, I have hired friends, fired friends, and lost the friendship in that process. I think that's something that happens to a lot of people. I've also seen plenty of people who are good at connecting with others, but they struggle to take that connection and turn it into a business relationship. With clients, they might feel like, okay, we're friends, but there's this weird other dynamic going on. And this could also be true of your employees. Can you actually be friends with your employees? Can you not? Let's talk about the difference between these two types of relationships and how to move in a more fluid way between the two of them. The thing that we really need to understand is that business relationships and creating business relationships, whether you're on the golf course or at a car show and you're meeting someone who might actually be potentially some business, they're all about structure. So a business relationship is about structure, and it's about setting a destination that you're heading together with the other person. This is even true if you are working at a company full time. You're setting up a work agreement, a work structure. An LLC, a corporation, is an agreed upon structure that we're putting in place for us as humans to collaborate together, to go from a connection, a friendship, someone you're meeting, and to enter a business relationship with them means you're setting a destination, goals, some rules of the road, and that structure in place. Friendships are very different. Friendships have no structure. Friendships are about no expectations. Of course, there are some minor boundaries, but in general, friendship is about not having expectations on the other person and supporting them. We give a lot more leeway to our friends for how they show up, when they show up. It's different than the workplace. So it helps to understand those two distinctions because now we can talk about what it looks like when we're in this weird hybrid space. What happens if you're friends with your employees? What happens if you're friends with your clients? Are you able to be friends with your clients? Or what happens when you're connecting with people and you want that to progress in a business context rather than just a friendship? So now that we have the spontaneity and flexibility of friendships covered and the structure of a business relationship covered, I just want to share one more quick metaphor that's going to help you understand this. A business relationship is more like a fully planned out trip where you're both heading off to that destination together. You've got set stops along the way, and it's mostly scoped out and planned out. Friendships, it's a little bit more like you're getting in the car with the other person saying, hey, let's road trip wherever. I'm happy to even just drive around the block a few times and end up eating somewhere by our house, or we could drive across the country. I'm open to any of those scenarios. So it helps just thinking about things from that perspective. Let's talk about when things get a little sticky. What happens when you're friends with a co-founder and you're having challenges? What happens when you're friends with your employees, but you feel like you need to fire them? We can separate these two types of relationships and focus specifically on the work and not on the person. So when you are firing someone, you're not firing the person. You're firing the agreed upon work agreement that wasn't fulfilled to the expectations you set. It's never really about the person because the person exists out of any of these work contexts. The person is a good person, a friend, someone that you can respect and care about and love. In the dynamic of the agreed upon work structure, there could be something that's not working and needs to be addressed, which might mean moving on, which might mean firing someone, but it's never really about that person. It's about the agreement. And that can be helpful to understand because you can separate out the two in moments where it feels difficult to separate out the two because there's a lot of emotional charge. Maybe there was friendship prior. Maybe there is still friendship now. If you focus on the work, if you both direct your attention to the agreed upon work, you can see that although we respect and like each other, what was agreed upon in this specific context was not happening the way that I wanted. If you're someone who is always being called for advice, if you're somebody who is being asked to do things for free, maybe as a freelancer or someone who's just a creative, how do you start to set up some boundaries so that you're not just working for free and instead you're able to actually create some income and set up a business relationship? And that's where setting these boundaries comes into play. So if people are asking you for free work or they're calling you, you can say, hey, I've actually started delivering this as a service. Here's the way it works. I meet with you for 2 hours. We plan out where we're going to go together. I feel like we could be a lot more productive if we moved from how we're working today to setting this up as an actual project we could work on together. We want to move out of the space of connection and friendship and some of the confusion that can be around there. And we want to establish a structure where it's clear, hey, I'm going to help you get to this destination for this fee on this timeline. That's the structure you can then put in place. So I'm curious what you think. I've been really lucky to be friends with a lot of my clients. I've been lucky to really enjoy the people I work with and spend time with them outside of a work context. But I know this area can be a bit confusing and it can lead to some breakdown of different type of relationships. I'm curious what you think. Can you be friends with your employees, co-founders, your clients? Have you ran into any situations that have been sticky in that area? I would love to hear from you. Feel free to leave me a comment. And as always, I'll be back again very soon. Later.